He gets caught though here, trying to go for a grapple, misses the first one. Second is good, and over the edge goes Meko. Hex knocks him off with a concussive blast, and Stella now gets some alone time with Mano.
I'm good to go.
We're gonna nano boost Libero. We have a few players dead for NYXL, so
Libero slept.
don't really get a lot out of that nano boost as Libero will get eliminated here. This will be 40% and counting for Boston.
By Meko on the Diva, trying to make sure the Reaper can't do as he pleases.
Just with that Widow, how are you going to displace the Orisa on the point? You don't have some of that extra damage to push on.
Oh, what?
Nice shot there.
You know, it's so hard to predict now when the Reaper is going to be available coming out of that teleport. It looks like Nene's figured it out though. I didn't even see the Reaper's model materialize before he was down.
I'd love to see that again. Yeah, you didn't even see the Reaper like begin to like actually show the body. Like he must have timed that out perfectly. And he's left completely alone. There's no chance for Persia to live during that. Stellar now playing on that side of the map. He'll fall as well. It's just not going well now for the Boston Uprising. They're just getting picked apart.
They're getting cleaned up. They lose Persia, Matt. Even if they bring him back into the fight later on, it's not really going to do the job. Meko now can hold the fort here in this side room, and now with Diva able to play more aggressively, Matt, it's not just about trying to absorb damage for a Reinhardt. You get to see players like Meko fire up and take some fights into his own hands. Nanabu's had to be used on Blase. Persia attempting to mess with Libero when he was put to sleep, but again, Meko is everywhere right now. Comes to the rescue. He also has a self-destruct if he needs to refresh that mech. Just deal with Kellex now, who's sticking around like a bad smell. 99% to 91, overtime for New York, Matt. It's just a wrecking ball on the point, and Stella can't touch. New York want to bait Boston and fighting on the point. They have the Reaper here. They also want to stay out of line of sight of Widow. And Colorhex does the most work when they're playing off the point. Already he's found a pick on Libero though, and I mean there's no chance for NYXL here.
That's beautiful.
More than once has Colorhex demonstrated himself as a nasty Widow player. Great fight for him. Blase may be frozen. Should be able to recover with that Harmony Orb on him and the extra healing. Persia able to take down Nene here, and well, Boston with the numbers now to be going on with Whole Hog used here by Meko. He's actually able to find fusions with that one, a big turnaround. Kalnex trying to find the pick here, but oh, Hanamo is so elusive. Around the pillar is playing Jonak now, and this is starting to break down to a bit of a mess. It's a 2v3 favoring Boston currently, but Meko has a lot of health and a hook to follow up with. Stella is down. Immortality Field thrown out onto the point by Kellex, but that's removed quickly enough, and Scrap Gun getting rid of it.
Yeah, Fusion's coming back here though on the Wrecking Ball as Boston wants to commit to this. That'll be...
Didn't last long, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have the Amp Matrix go down, you have Supercharger go down here as well. That'll be it, as kills come through for New York. As the Biotic Grenades from Jonak have been good. Even the last time that Persia used Transcendence, it's able to connect with a 3-player nade, and that's going to be a pick here from Colorhex on and Nene. Probably their best opportunity. They got to go now, but you see a 3-player Biotic Grenade there from Jonak.
Yeah, Jonak now, last couple fights, has been dominating them. Jonak going down, though. Colorhex has found that issue. Libero's taken out. Persia, that aggressive nature is paying off here. Transcendence for the Boston Uprising, Matt. They're definitely doubling down on trying to win this fight and end the match here and now. Can New York stall out? It doesn't look like it. We're into overtime now for Boston, and Colorhex has a perfect view of the situation. Persia, you know he likes to pick aggressively. This time it pays off. Barrage available here for Libero. Supercharges down, but that's not going to stop this man. Leaps forward, tries to get rid of Fusion Shield, but Kellex is sharp there, but the T shots get rid of the Farah. Meko low, having to take a breather. Probably would have liked to be able to jump out of the window, but he has a whole hog here. Oh no, Stella. He has to translocate out. He does have an EMP though, but oh! No, he actually got the kill on towards Stella with the whole hog. Future's now has nano boost, hitting very, very hard. Meko eventually is going to get taken down, and the Valkyrie Dynamo can't do much but go for the resurrect. And now the New York players are coming back. There are reinforcements, and here comes Jonak. He goes through to Colorhex, and that little bit of extra stall for New York might have made all the difference. Now Libero wants to pressure around the right side of this point. An amplification matrix thrown in the back corner by Boston. Can they get a kill with this though? They need to stem the flow somehow, but New York keep coming one after another. Stella finally finds a release valve, but Kellex is also traded out in Fusion's Supercharger is now out of commission. Not a good sign. New York gonna flip the point back, and they're already at 99%, Matt.
Be knocking some players back. Kellex on the Lucio just trying to get a touch.
At least he can touch.
You have a Blase coming back on the Wrecking Ball. Just trying to make a play here, but man, it does not look good.
Adaptive Shield wasn't available. Fusions wistfully returns to the point on his beloved Winston. Gets rid of the Supercharger. Libero's gone down here. Meko trying to hold the fort. Fusions, can he stall for long enough? It's NO! Map number 1 goes to New York here. They hold on with a fantastic stall. Animo with a Valkyrie, keeping Mecco alive on the Roadhog, and then the reinforcements arrive.
I will say, though, it is not a convincing map #1 win for the NYXL.
Well, they get pressure down the defense matrix, and Boston taking position on point here.
They get a hack on a Mecco. So they get a hack on a Mecco, and then they try and pressure him off the point. That's how they're able to get it ticked. They'll get a D-Mech here on a Blase.
Oh man, that is not a great sign though. Getting Blase D-Mech there is pretty big. Flowers now able to do a little bit more damage. Libero has gone down. Fusion just pile drove into the back line of New York as they tried to mount this defense. He is causing many an issue. Callahan's has got Jonak. It is back and forth kind of fights. Now though, we have a 4v3 favouring NYXL with Jonak being brought back into the fight. You have to think New York is safe.
For the damage, gonna go down now.
Time to tick it. Time to make the play, Boston.
Color Hex is low.
Again, has to use Wraithwalk early. It gets a Biotic Orb given to him though by Persia. Let's see, the Death Loss is going to be enough. No, he's frozen solid. No opportunity to get that off. Stella's going to walk over the EMP, and this one has to be good, but it's too little. It's too late. New York now are able to stand tall. No one removed in that fight a hook to really punctuate the point. Put the period on the sentence that says, we full held you. I mean, the rivalry between Boston and New York exists in name, but in terms of how close they're playing, Matt, not really there. Very solid defense, bringing Flower in here on Hanamura.
Yes, he's looked good on the far. You see him pick up a 2K there.
Just away from the point here. New York can now set up. Now Boston, the script is flipped. Now Boston have to be the attackers. They have to be the aggressors. And look at them, the pace of play is being dictated to them, but they're able to withstand. Blase on the Roadhog getting rid of Libero. Flower now out of the picture. New York get a tick. They don't use any ultimates, so they just bait them up. And I'll be happy enough with that. They force Valk out of Kellex as well.
Third strategy of a lot of players.
I guess who's he going to heal on the way through? Flower was too low before he even got there. Coalescence came out from Jonak, but a little bit too late. I guess he's going to try and hose Color Hex down.
Clearly haven't played enough Moira to know that it's not about the healing when you're on the flank. It's all about the damage.
Persia just got washed. Color Hex now with the barrage gets rid of Mecco, but Mano removes him. Death Blossom for Libero now. It's going to have to be an ice block from Stella to stay alive. He's able to survive.
Jonak's still alive.
Yeah. He's been hanging around this whole time. Gets rid of Blase. Flower comes in with a Meteor Strike here and he gets rid of Stella. Jonak just goes absolutely mental off the Moira. Going to follow up on the fusions. And sometimes Jonak is an element that just can't be accounted for. Battle Moiras rejoice. New York make it 2-0.
He goes on the long flank as Moira, the Coalescence. Who cares about the healing? Just pump the damage up.
How boom is your mental as Boston when you just get rinsed by a Moira? Was that 3?
Yeah, you got 3 there at the end.
Maywall's thrown up. This will allow Boston to get a little bit closer onto the point, but Jonak needs to stay alive in their back there. Keep Mano standing. Here comes the Dragon Strike. This is going to force the Uprising to split. And there it is. Opportunities for Libero to find a pick. Kellex also going down to the Dragon Strike, something that shouldn't really happen. Fusions is able to get rid of Flower. Jonak now returns and the Blizzards in play. New York. Keep it on lock. I mean, they're going to take a bit of damage in this, forcing an early ice block out of Stella. Now, if he can stay safe, it'll be fine, but if he's pushed, it'll be a problem. Mecco, though, wasn't in a great position. Looks like he was frozen or otherwise CC'd in that spot. Now they're looking to try and run Mano down with the tanks out of the way. This should be pretty straightforward for Boston. Huge advantage for them pushing onto the point now, and for New York, they just stall as long as they can.
Yeah, they have to use the Transcendence to march on forward, and then they run down Mano, but Boston will be able to take point A. They will unlock the payload here on King's Row. Will they be able to get a touch?
Now, I think Persia is aware that Jonak is lurking behind. The Fusions goes down to the Dragon Strike. He can't get away from
I don't think he is. He nanos somebody through the front and sleeps Persia.
Now, Jonak went in. He got caught out, though. Now it's going to be time for New York to push up, though. The checkpoint hasn't been captured yet. Coalescence, though, you cannot hide from that one. At least not if you're behind a shield. Mano is taken down, and so is the Supercharger, and there's really not much more to be said about this fight. New York tried something a little bit cute. It didn't work, and they invested ult again. Far side of it, which is even better. Flower hooked in. He was in the Immortality field, but not after getting hooked out there by Blase. Another huge effort from the off-tank player. Here comes the Blizzard, and Blase is definitely frozen solid. Jonak finds Kellex downrange, and Fusions has to commit with a Supercharger, but he goes immediately after. Here comes a late Blizzard here from Stella. Transcendence in play for Jonak, but it's not enough to keep Mecco alive. This could get nasty for New York now. Persia Transcendence on the card. Jonak realizing a little bit too late. Thought he'd try and time and get the headshot kill. It didn't work. He's taken down by Blase now. Johnny Mano trying to set up on the point here, and Flowers on the Hans, and we got two. Unbelievable. Dragon Strike comes through and he claims Persia. Now trying to do a Fusions and Co. A hold, maybe drag someone down into the pit. It doesn't work. Immortality Field thrown down on the point by New York now, and Libero needs to find some kills on this Doomfist. Another switch off the Hanzo. This time it opens up well. Adamo assists him with the kill on Blase, and Libero looking now for the wrecking ball. Maybe a rocket punch. The seismic slam to try and interrupt things on the payload a little bit. There's a tracer afoot. Doomfist doesn't connect the rocket punch, but the uppercut was there. Colourhex at long range gets rid of Libero, but he's gonna need a little bit more help here on the payload, and he frankly just doesn't have it. The Boston Uprising come to a hold just outside of the end of the map. Stellar and Persia to push to the point of the test.
You know, they're trying to really just get those kills rather quickly. Meko was frozen inside. Some other players went in to help, and
Flower could see him. He had a Sonic arrow in the doorway. Colourhex picks. Anyway, and it didn't work out for him, did it? Headshot from Flower. There's a Dragon Strike here. That might go straight through the hotel, and it does. Stella trying to set something up on the right-hand side, but he's taken down by Flower. Now it's just up to Fusions, two healers, and an off-tank in Blase. And there is a Blizzard on the horizon. It ain't looking good. Fusions hooked in, taken down immediately, and maybe you don't even need the Blizzard there. New York get what they came for on the second attempt here on King's Row.
don't have a Maywall here. Supercharger goes down for Mono. It's gonna be Fusions who puts one down too, but Colourhex again.
It's a headshot, supercharged headshot. Colourhex likely had no chance to respond to that kill from the main. Dynamo goes down to Stella, but the Dragon Strike gives New York so much space, and still somehow they're able to contest. Stella plays close on the other side of the Dragon Strike to keep the payload contested. And the headshot as it comes out. Didn't find the head, actually, he didn't have to. Body shot will do the job. With a low health Hanzo in his way. Libero backing up to behind the shield, and now the DPS are dueling it out. Boston sends Colourhex forth to try and keep this one stalled. He gets Dronak before he gets frozen up. Boston are getting so many free, sneaky little kills they otherwise shouldn't be getting. New York are letting him in. Now Fusion steps up. One by one, they stall this payload out for quite some time. The pressure will mount on New York. Then they need to spring forward. Keep an eye on Kellex here. We'll probably try and knock Mano forward. Flower. I mean, a great chance for him to start showing up. Colourhex, he is sharp as a tack. That is unbelievable. Two headshots on both the DPS from Colourhex. Keeps his team afloat single-handedly. That's so gross.
That was sick. You could see the first one happening on the Flower, but I don't know how he got the headshot on the Libero. We can take a look. Colourhex's POV is...
Yeah, you are, get out, come on. 4 seconds remain and they return to their kingdom, or is it? Fusions was frozen, but now it's going to be a Blizzard coming from Boston. Stellar again.
They're holding.
Hits the pain point. Overtime is ticking down, and the Uprising are ahead on distance currently. Colourhex going to try and sit back, and Meko's going to get desuited. Flower pushing in on the Genji. Trying to deflect a little while, but the Transcendence is there, and the Uprising give all the ultimates that they need. Looks like they're able to stand on their own 2 feet here and force NYXL to go again. Over the top, and Jonak under pressure. Colourhex looking for that pick off. Blase's already found 2, and it may as well be over. It pretty much is. Nanoboost doesn't do enough for Meko as he was desuited, and well. The Boston Uprising strike back in a series, get themselves a map, and stay alive.
They are very much alive in this series. The first 2 maps do go in favor of New York, but map 1 very close. Flower picks up some kills on the Widowmaker at the beginning.
Yo, he
now
took his
goes over to
glasses off.
Hanzo.
Poor.
Yeah.
Look at him. Damn. Maybe his glasses actually are a way to keep his powers in, like Cyclops from X-Men.
Maybe he got contacts or something?
Yeah, it could be that. That sounds more reasonable.
Yeah.
Jonak finds Persia there with a headshot. I really don't see New York slowing down very much at all here. Yeah. No connections on those Storm Arrow shots. He got the
for Libero.
You know he's going to try and use it as soon as possible. Even without Meko, I'd say. Kellex's Immortality Field now down. Libero. Oh, he just caught it, but he got picked up by Colourhex. That was just, I mean, that was all the time New York needed. Just a little longer, get the Blizzard down. Colourhex once again foils their plans.
Yeah, Flower has to just kind of take some responsibility for it.
Meko whole hog Fusions. No one can keep him alive. Jonak's able to get him. Meko wasn't able to finish with the whole hog because the shield was in the way, but Jonak could see above it, and now he's starting to do his best Blase impression. Stella down to a Sonic Arrow. Immortality Field removed. Kellex now jumping in. Both feet first. And I think Boston now are kind of out of options there. Fusion's frozen as he got onto the point, and that'll do it. New York get the map done and plenty of time to spare.
Although, Libero launches the Bastion up in the sky.
Meko somehow still alive for as long as he was. I'm impressed. Got hit with the biotic grenade. Colorhex trying to put Colorhex running from Jonak on Ana. He might actually take that 1v1. The rest of his team are going to get wrecked here, so I guess he may as well try and make something happen. Flower gets rid of the Colorhex. Stella sleeping on the cart. No real tanks up for Boston here, so contesting is not an option. And sometimes, Matt, the cheese, it's the job done. Stay in fight, even though May actually kind of has fun in sort of those close quarters. Persia! Sorry, it's over for you. Colorhex, though, able to win out against Flower. Just find a headshot now. Oh, what is this? What am I watching?
That is a Dragon Strike, yep. A little bit of the tactical crouch in there.
Now the Doomfist from Flower, he wants to put this one to bed. He wants to be done with it, but the Uprising might have different plans. Seismic Slam claims the kill. Stella knocked up in the air. Blizzard now being thrown down. Flower trying to skip out of its bounds. It just gets away. Has to use a rocket punch though, so lacks tools to get rid of the Hanzo. And again, watch out, Hanzo is freaky like that. Colorhex turns around, gets rid of Flower. Biotic grenade onto Animo and Meko here. The ladder being frozen up. Libero, great May wall though, buys his team a lot of space. And now Jonak tries to come back in on the Moira. Coalescence is very close, but he's a little low on health. He needs to stay alive for a little longer.
This is so drawn out from New York.
Yeah, big stall. It's going to make their job in the last part of the map just a little bit easier. Colorhex had to use a Dragon Strike to get through. Sure enough, Boston look like they will be able to prevail here, but the cost is high. And now we're into overtime. It's got to be here for the Uprising, but Blaze's forced out of position. Does Libero choose now to go for the Blizzard? Doesn't look like it. Playing it safe. Wall up. Make sure he gets the Blizzard, then brings the wall down. It gives a little bit of time for Boston to get away from the Blizzard, but it looks like he's caught the plays that he wanted to. Fusions is down. Jonak gets picked up from Colorhex on the left-hand side, and here comes Boston's Blizzard. Looks like they're doing one better. Mano is removed. Ice block here. Desperately used by Libero to try and stay alive, but now the sound barrier for Boston. Gonna let them push in that much more aggressively. New York kind of let things slip here at the end of things, Matt, as they pressure forward. Meko trying to stall things out. Mano's also going to roll up. Wall thrown up with a Dragon Strike to clear some space around the payload, but it won't damage the Uprising enough to win the fight. Meko taken down. Blaze is removed, and here come the reinforcements once more. Mano back here on the Orisa. Supercharge to use. Libero! Oh, Libero! Gets in there with the Doomfist. The Jonak finds the finish on Telex. That's two for the Doomfist. Make it 3-1, that is, for New York.
Boston, man, I saw Fusions on stage and he did not look happy with the way that went at the end. Is a supercharger from Mono. Libero comes back as Boston so close to at least getting a run through of the map yet again. Take out one or two players. We can take a look at it from Libero's POV. So he's able to get with one right after. He's able to pick up 3 kills during this. It's really sick Doomfist play from Libero.
Opened by HP. Topping the tables with 16 final blows in that last match was Flower. And he's looked excellent over the course of the series. A little bit of a smudge there on map number 3. But overall, he's looked great. And it's good to see New York getting more use out of this individual.
Yeah, just experimenting, putting him in the lineup today. You know, Nene playing map number 1, and then Flower played throughout. That allows him to play May +4. It allows either of these two players, Flower or Libero, to play Hanzo. They can both play Doomfist. A lot of hero overlap, but also they can cover pretty much everything. Flower can play the Widowmaker as well. It's a really interesting look from New York. One I would not be surprised to see them go with moving forward.
A lot of big Dragon Strike kills from Flower, set up by Mano, the Orisa hold, to make sure that a Hanzo ultimate that's often used to split people off is actually getting kills as well. That's extra value